So this is a test for me. I have no idea if this project is going to work. So fingers crossed. I have a little bit of an accident. So you're going to need a rolling pin, pottery knife, some snowflake cookie cutters, some texture. So you can use anything, but I'm going to use a doily, a board and some clay, whatever clay that you want to use. I'm going to be using my favourite porcelain. I'm going to roll the clay out so it's about like 4mm thick. I'm now using a rubber kidney tool and I'm using that to compress the clay. I'm using this really cute doily. Looks a little bit like a snowflake, so you can use any texture that you want. I'm just pressing this in so it covers the whole surface of the clay. To make the tree shape, I'm using the snowflake cutters. I'm going to use the entire set to make lots of different size snowflakes. I'm just using the set the same way you would use to cut out cookies. This first patch gives us the layers for the tree. Look how lovely the pattern is. It just looks so unique, just like a snowflake. I'm going to poke a hole using a rounded stylus to provide airflow during the kiln firing. I'm going to make some spaces using the smallest snowflake. I plan on using these in between each snowflake layer, which will provide structural support and give the tree its height. I've covered the pieces in plastic and left them to become leather hard overnight. Time for the fun bit. I need to be really careful at this stage so the piece doesn't crack. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slip and score each spacer and apply them to each corner. Couple of layers on there and a bit of slip actually on the snowflake. I'm turning it over and I'm just going to press it down very gently. I've done this before where if you press down too hard the piece is just going to crack, so lots of patience. I need lots of patience to get this done. So I'm taking my time. Yay, I've built it. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to cover it in plastic and I'm going to leave it for a few days to dry, probably about 3 to 4 days. I'll keep checking on it and then it will be ready for a kiln firing and it will go in for its first kiln fire at 1000 degrees Celsius. So it's had a bit of firing. Turned out well, apart from I had a little bit of an accident. So I was putting this snowflake into the kiln and it dropped onto the tree and a little bit broke off, but not to worry, it still looks good. So I'm going to keep this really simple. I'm going to add Pottery Crafts transparent glaze and I'm just going to add 3 layers. I'm going to give it a little bit of a shake. So I'm going to start, I'll try and do it this way so you can see. So just 3 layers. And if you're doing a piece like this, it's great to have a whirler. I mean, look how fast that is. So I could have dipped this in a bucket of transparent glaze. Decided not to because this is still a little bit fragile and I was worried that I'd knock the top of this off. So I've just decided to just add 3 layers. It might take a little bit longer, but then you've got your piece. And that's it. That's the first layer done. So I'll leave it to dry, which that will take about just a few minutes. I'd say probably about 7 to 10 minutes maybe. So in the meantime, I'm going to add 3 layers of the celadon. I'll do the back the same colour. Very gentle, very, very gentle at this point. Just because something's had a bisque fire in it doesn't make it really strong until it goes in for a second firing. I made something similar to this the other week, and that was a cone shape with a star on the top, and I knocked it and it fell off. So that's it. I'll add another 2 layers and then it'll be ready to go in for a glaze firing. So this is how the tree turned out. I'm really pleased with it. I love all the layers. I think it looks fab. I think it's going to look really pretty on a table for Christmas.